And after the free kick, the second long touchdown pass after some broken tackle. Trey Palmer, 56 yards, and for all intents and purposes, that put this thing to bed. The Buccaneers get the victory. As we do every Monday, we visit now with Joe Buck and Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. And Joe, the tendency here is to want to ask the Philadelphia question because there's so many layers to it, but we're going to fight that urge. And let's talk about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team who has earned the respect with this victory, and they earn the right to play next week against Detroit. What most impressed you about the manner in which they did that?
I mean, I think you look at how they got it done, and they got it done in all phases here tonight. You know, the offense with Baker Mayfield, we talked plenty about that. The defense, the Todd Bowles put together, and they had answers for everything. And, you know, it was about as thorough a game as a team can play, and it was impressive to watch. And Troy said it a couple times during the game. It's so true. Coming into the season, you lose Brady. They weren't even a 500 team last year. They got beat bad in the wild card game. They signed Baker Mayfield, who's in a camp battle with Kyle Trask to be the quarterback. And here they are. They win the division again. They're 10-8 now overall, and they're going to Detroit. And I know Detroit's a handful, but I think Tampa Bay is going to roll in there with some confidence. That could be a real fun game to watch.
What's funny about this game is that Tampa Bay came in having won 5 of 6. They played like it. Philadelphia, Troy, came in having lost 5 of 6. They played like it too. And it feels like this may require some sort of forensic analysis beyond just what we're capable of discussing right now. But right now, having just seen this thud for this Philadelphia team who was in the Super Bowl last year, how do you make sense of what happened?
Well, I make sense of it just because we witnessed it for the last 6 weeks of the season, you know, and every time it looked like they were getting ready to play an opponent or in a position to maybe turn their season back around, you know, they end up losing the number 2 seed, and then they lose another game, and then they came into this one and saying, hey, everything is still out in front of us. And, you know, I know there's a difference between what players and coaches say and what they feel. And they said all the right things, but you could tell they weren't feeling it. And it was obvious when they came out here and took the field. So what happens then is you've got to re-energize a fan base, and to do that, typically there's got to be changes. What changes will that be? I don't know. Will it be Nick Sirianni? I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, knowing Jeffrey Lurie and his background and what he's done in the past. But you cannot go into next season status quo. There's going to have to be some changes, and I'm as interested as anyone to see what those are. And the Eagles are not alone. There's going to be a few other teams in that same position that are going to have to address it. But it's going to be a long offseason for the Eagles. It was a big disappointment, and even bigger one in the way in which they played tonight.
It's incredible, isn't it, guys? The way we talked about Dallas and Philadelphia at times in this season, and the NFC East both get thumped. And they're done, and now here we are wondering about their coaches moving forward. It's pretty astounding how it's ended for both. Gentlemen, appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys in Baltimore on Saturday for the Ravens and the Texans.
Thank you, Scott.
See you, Scott.
Thank you so much, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Brilliant as always, and here is that divisional playoff weekend. Best weekend in football, man. You wait all year for it. 8 best teams, they've demonstrated it because they've earned the right to play here, whether they were the ones, Baltimore and San Francisco, who got to wait to see who they'd face. Houston coming in on Saturday, then Saturday night, Bills and Chiefs again, but this time it's in Western New York. Green Bay and San Francisco, we know matchup in the playoffs has happened more often. That'll be the 10th time. And the Buccaneers with an emphatic home win over the Eagles. They'll go take on Detroit, looking to stack playoff wins after they got the first in more than 30 years. That's next week.